Cold water is used to stimulate the circulation and draw the blood supply away from the inflamed nerves of the stomach. No sugar, no salt, no bacon, no alcohol, no tobacco. In fact, anything at all that's good is forbidden.
I don't know how or why, but I feel so much better. I look around me, and I don't care two hoots how any of this came to be created. Children, last one back to the house is a rice pudding. Come on, William, you're last. Come on, run, quick, quick, quick. Come on, Etty. Come on, children. Annie! Annie, you won! Come here, my darling. Oh. Oh, Annie, my dear and good child. Come on, darling. Oh.
Papa, Annie's woken me up. Annie's woken me up. Mum, wake up, Annie's crying.
What's the matter, my darling?
What's wrong?
Does your head hurt?
Oh, there's no fever.
Does it hurt here? Oh, it's all right, my darling. You'll be all right.
The doctor's coming. You go and get dressed. I'll stay with her.
What if she's inherited my wretched digestion?
She'll be fine. Poor dear.
What did he say?
It is her stomach, but he has no idea what's wrong.
Perhaps I should take her to go see Dr. Gully. He cured me.
You'll be back soon, and Papa will look after you. Soon there's going to be a new baby, and I shall need your help. Say goodbye to Etty now.
Just sit up. Now, come on, girls. Take one big gulp of this. Come on, there's a good girl. That's a good girl. Oh, quickly. Come on, there. Oh. Come on, darling, lie back. That's a good girl. She seems so weak. Isn't there anything you can do?
All you can do is pray.
It's my fault. First cousin marriages always produce weak children. It's my fault.
cause of death as bilious fever with a typhoid character. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away.
Please, God!
God grant us strength.
Please, Charles. Please. Come along, children.
What Annie's death did to Darwin's faith was mainly to destroy Christianity. He could no longer see that a good God ordered and superintended all of the events of human life and of the universe. And he believed that she did not deserve punishment by God or by nature either. She had simply fallen victim to the struggle for existence, the amoral, purposeless struggle that ran according to laws of nature.
Darwin certainly didn't think that evolution spoke either for or against the unprovable existence of God or a form of God. He didn't desire to cast disparagement on anyone's religious convictions. He regarded it as a private matter which he was never able to hold with conventional zeal following the tragedy of his life.
Today, scientists hold all conceivable views on religion, from atheism to agnosticism to a general spirituality. And many, like biologist Ken Miller, adhere to very traditional beliefs.
I'm an Orthodox Catholic, and I'm an Orthodox Darwinist. My idea of God is a supreme being who acts in concert with the principles and the ideas that Darwin explained to us about the origin of species. My students often ask me, you say you believe in God. Well, what kind of God? Is it a fashionable New Age God, a pyramid power kind of God? Do you think, like some scientists do, that God is the sum total of the laws of physics? And I shake those off and say that my religious belief is entirely conventional.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom.
It surprises students very often that anyone could say that that kind of very traditional, conventional religious belief could be compatible with evolution. But it is.
The peace and unity of your kingdom where you live forever and ever. Amen.
I find this absolutely wonderful consistency with what I understand about the universe from science and what I understand about the universe from faith.
Tennessee's premier morning radio talk show, the Halloran Hilton Hill Morning Show on News Talk 99, WNOX AM/FM, Loudon, Knoxville.
12 past the hour of 6 o'clock. It's my pleasure to welcome to the broadcast this morning Dr. Kenneth Miller. He's a professor of biology at Brown University. His book is entitled Finding Darwin's God, a scientist's search for common ground between God and evolution. He's in town tonight. But let me ask you this. As a cellular biologist, when in your experience are you studying something or reading something or doing some research, when do you come to the point where you go, that's God?
As an experimental scientist, I don't find God in the insufficiency of science to explain things. In other words, I don't find God in ignorance. I don't find God because we say, well, we can't explain that. That must be something that God's doing.
But what did God do? Did he just create some kind of primordial soup and say, go?
Well, a long time ago, people were sufficiently unknowing of how things worked in the natural world to see when the sun moved across the sky, they imagined that God had to push that sun across the sky. And gradually, we began to realize that the world works according to physical laws. Science investigated those laws. So what room is there for God in present-day life? Well, I think if you ask people who are believers, how does God act? They would say he acts in a variety of ways. He answers our prayers. He inspires us. No doubt there are events that take place that are part of what some people might call God's plan. And what I would suggest is if you look back in Earth's history, if God is working today in concert with the laws of nature, with physical laws and so forth, he probably worked in concert with them in the past. In a sense, he's the guy who made up the rules of the game, and he manages to act within those rules.
For Miller and millions of followers of all major religions, notions of God and evolution are fully compatible. But not everyone agrees.
When we replace the traditional idea of God, the creator, with the idea of the process of natural selection doing the creating, the creation is as wonderful as it ever was. All that great design work had to be done. It just wasn't done by an individual. It was done by this huge process distributed over billions of years.
God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them.
Whereas people used to think of meaning coming from on high and being ordained from the top down. Now we have Darwin saying, no, all of this design can happen, all of this purpose can emerge from the bottom up without any direction at all. And that's a very unsettling thought for many people.
In Darwin's day, science and politics and religion were all of a piece when you talked about the origins of life and of species. Astronomy could go along pretty well because it testified to the wisdom and power of God in holding the planets in place. But the idea of evolution or transmutation, people said with a snarl, put in jeopardy the whole established social order.
What is in this big book of his, do you think?
Transmutation.
Another Darwin blotting God out of creation.
We want to support your scheme for a museum of natural history.
Some people see it as rash, extravagant, grandiose.
If it's grand, it's because it should house as wide a display as possible.
But we need your help in return. It is up to you, as the country's leading anatomist and paleontologist, to prove man's superiority.
We won't have street ruffians tout man's monkey origins.